It's you again. It's episode 3. It's episode 3. This one is simple. This one is straightforward. I got a lot to talk about. Yo, you should learn to take time for yourself. This in no way is going to be a recycling of the things that I say especially not during resurgence. Take time for yourself. Like, not take time for yourself. No, that's not how I mean to state it. Learn to take time to be alone. Learn to do that though. Like, actually figure out what that feels like when you are in perfect isolation with yourself, with the oneness of who you are. That's what this video is about. There's way too much on the internet that tries to tell you what to do, how to be, where to go, what to look at, and how to feel about stuff, when you need to be using technology as a tool to get you where you want to go. You also don't need to be actually using a device for technology to be technology. Can I just remind everybody of that? But you think about the things that you use is where the power really comes in. That's how effective something is. So when I say technology should be assisting you, you should be thinking of what technology does for you in your head though. Like, don't try to practice it. Don't try to locate it anywhere outside of you. And this isn't and by that I mean, take a look at how you feel before you do something. Really, just take a look at it. There's a lot of stuff that you do that with already. Sometimes you do it for things that you prioritize, but it's the energy of not prioritization, but importance. There's a certain place you set things in your heart so that you already know how to respond for it. A lot of people get to this spot when they have priorities, but you can set this before you have a priority. It's called taking time to yourself. There's a lot of stuff also that you can bring to the table when you have that space to yourself. This isn't the kind of space that you have when you go to sleep, by the way. When you're going to sleep, you know why you're going to sleep, or you know that you're going to sleep. So automatically you're in a different mind space. How are you supposed to take time for yourself during sleep, during rest? Most of you probably sleep to get ready for the next day. In that case, you are preoccupied. You have no time to think about anything else. Did anybody ever tell you that? Did anybody ever tell you that if you sleep to prepare for the day ahead, you have no time for yourself? You're welcome. So taking time during the day, practicing taking time during the day. If you're a day person, practicing taking time during the night. If you're a night person, but it's the practice of it. There's a lot of stuff that you fail as a person to communicate to somebody else because you don't know how to take your time. Take time to yourself. This is the time that you take outside of music, outside of food, outside of life, outside of sitting in one spot, outside of meditation. This is the actual essence of who you are as a human being, contained in a singular spot, maybe somewhere that you can find. I say this, I talk about this in the phenomenon of manifestation. I talk about this. I say that you have a home in you that everyone has. Every single person in the world has this. But it's you not practicing being in that space that keeps you from connecting with people that you think you should be connected to. It's also the kind of thing that inhibits you because you haven't practiced it when you want to say something, when you want to do something and you hesitate. Why do you hesitate? Because the time and space that you take from isolation is made in frustration, confusion, hesitation, contemplation. And unless you are in isolation focusing on those things, you're gonna get a variable result. Yes, this is mathematical. It is totally variable when you do not actively focus on things that make you hesitate. Because it's not about the hesitation, it's not about the confusion, it's not about contemplation, it's not about thinking as much as it is as what gets you thinking. Take time alone, learn to do it. Learning to take time to yourself is not something that feels like it makes sense just because you realize you need somebody in your life or that you want somebody in your life. It's not the thing that you that you approach offensively. You don't approach it offensively. Your needs are not an offense to you. I don't know if anyone told you that, but your needs are not an offense to you. So when you do have a need, it's more so about you checking in isolation, right? The thing that you should be practicing, how to speak to yourself, how to believe in yourself in those moments, so that when you feel like you're in a private zone or just somewhere outside of your comfort zone, you know where to draw strength from. Where you build strength from is in isolation. There's a lot of stuff that people get into because they don't take that time to focus their energy in isolation before projecting stuff. You're always projecting, by the way. Taking time alone helps you realize that you're always projecting stuff. How do I know? The easiest way I can refer you to that point is through the fact that if you take some time to just chill out, a lot of the stuff that you think is happening isn't happening, because when you open your eyes, if your eyes were closed, you are in the same spot that you left before you're in the same spot before you close your eyes. It's just that simple. It doesn't matter what your mind is doing. It doesn't matter where your mind is going. If where you are when you open your eyes isn't the place that you're afraid of, it doesn't mean that you're about to get there. It just means that taking time in isolation should be more of a priority to you, because it's the feelings are leaking out of you from everywhere and every angle. I mean, when you're looking at other people who don't take time to themselves, you're probably following in their footsteps, especially if you respect them. Think about that one. Especially if you respect the people who don't take time for themselves, you're not going to do it yourself either. At least you're not going to think about it unless you get some time alone and you find out that you're the kind of person that thinks about stuff alone, without taking offense to yourself or insulting yourself for doing it. Because a lot of people do find the space and then they offend themselves. They attack themselves right in that spot, alone. Can you imagine someone who doesn't realize that the mirror what they're facing is a mirror? And so they automatically don't have space for solitude and isolation and alone time? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that that word that no, people don't know that I don't like this word, so let me not even try to, I just ruined it. Never mind. When you compromise isolation, you're actually removing a very important element of your time and space that you could find in yourself as an individual. It really, really helps to not compromise what you are able to find in solitude just because somebody else is not doing it. Now, most people aren't led by other people to pretend that solitude doesn't exist. Most people are led by a desire to have what someone else has, and they then neglect what they have. Because if you're always drawing from the energy of your mind to address the world and to project your thoughts into it, that's the only way that this could be. That's the only way that you could already have what you have. It's about how you think about it. It's about how you're addressing it. There might be places that your body thinks you are because of the way you think. Because you fail to take time in isolation. You should take time alone. I really hope I drove that point home. You really should take time alone. Take. Just do it. Just do it. It is an activity. Taking time alone is an activity. That's an activity. Know the difference between the things that you feel and you think. Just like I said in the last video, people will execute faith, not apply faith. And it's that simple distinction that lets me know that, wow, people don't take time alone. Because if you take time alone, you embroider yourself with distinction, and it makes you look very comprehensive in your understanding, in your expression of yourself. It's a good thing. It feels good to feel like you comprehend something. There are energies in you that comprehend stuff outside of comprehension. But this is the kind of rhythm you build up when you isolate yourself. You don't have to wait for other people to do it for you. You really don't. That's take the time to have time.